The Ten Commandments song.
I do. Oh,
yeah, that one. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Come on in, boys. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to get all the Ten Commandments from memory on the board here.
I'll let it slide this time.
Okay. No, today's the 10th.
So, what color do you like? I got some neon expos here.
Blue. Is that blue? It looks like blue.
Let's see how this looks. Alright, so. Come over on this side. Come over on this side. Join. There's a couple seats in the back there. Or pull one of those chairs around this side. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go over 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's list them off. What's 10? The first of the 10 Commandments.
God should be first in your life.
Okay. This is wobbly.
No, I'm just gonna go ahead.
God is number 1. Okay, number 2.
God, no idols.
No idols. Okay. Why is that different than God is number 1?
You could say God is number 1, but still have idols.
Okay. All right.
Water bottle? Grab my water bottle? Can you grab my water bottle?
Very true. Any other thoughts? Why is, if God is like already supposed to be number 1, why does he also mention as a separate command that there should be no idols?
Make it really clear.
Okay. Yeah, like commandments number 1 and 2, like seriously, man, no other gods. Get it. All right. Yeah. So the language here in Exodus 20, which is where we find our 10 Commandments, is, let me find it. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image. So, you ever heard the expression "graven image"? That's sort of the isn't that the language of the song?
Yeah.
Number 2, how's it go? Number 1, we just began. God should be first in our life. Number 2, the idol rule. Those graven images aren't nice. Okay. So, this one actually. So yes, definitely no idols, no other gods we're worshiping. Okay, it's sort of tied into the first one. But arguably, God is saying, don't make any images of me. Arguably, God is saying, don't make any images of me, because I'm a spirit. I'm not in a form that you could even understand with your eye at this, anyway. So, God says, no graven images. God is going to be number 1. No other gods. Okay, number 3.
God's name should be never spoken in jest.
Okay. So don't.
Sorry, I know all of that. I don't even like the I have the whole song memorized.
His name.
Yeah, we had to sing inquire.
In vain. What does it mean? What does it mean to take the Lord's name in vain?
Don't use it lightly.
Don't use it lightly. I like that definition.
Don't curse against him.
Don't curse against him. Okay. Other thoughts?
Don't use it in like everyday talk.
Don't. Ooh. Okay. All right. So I think that tracks a little bit with like what Ben was saying, right? Don't use it lightly. Okay. Good. Yeah. When we invoke. So. A couple thoughts on this. When we invoke the name of God, okay, whether we're saying God, Lord, Jesus, whatever name we're using, we should be using that with respect, with deference, because He's God, He's holy. So you guys know that song? It's on K-Love all the time. When you don't know what to say, just say Jesus. Yep. Right? I don't like that song for more reasons than just the music. I understand the concept of calling out to Jesus when you don't have. I have no idea what to pray for, and the scriptures actually says that when we don't know what to pray for, the Spirit groans on our behalf. So there's truth in it, but I think we need to be cautious that we don't just use the name of Jesus in a light way and just kind of throw it out there without any sort of trust in it or power in it. You know what I mean? We just want to use the name of the Lord wisely, not in vain. Okay, number 4. I'm trying to remember what it is too. Number 1, we just begun. Number 2, the idol rule.
Sabbath day.
Is it Sabbath?
Yeah, it is.
How's it go? Number 4.
Sabbath honor. Sabbath for
the Sabbaths for our worship and our rest. Right. Keep the Sabbath. Okay. So, what day of the week did the Jews worship on?
Saturday.
Saturday. That was their Sabbath. What day do we worship on as Christians? Sunday. Okay. Does this mean that if you miss church on Sunday, you are failing to keep the Sabbath?
Yes.
No.
Yes, Evie says yes. No questions.
Yes.
Okay.
They're pretty strict about that in the Bible.
It is pretty strict about it in the Bible. So, for those of you guys, I'm totally not, you're not doing something wrong for playing sports, but how many of you have games on Sundays? Okay. Does that mean you're failing to keep the Sabbath if you have your game on a Sunday?
Possibly, but you could also read the Bible that day and worship.
Okay. Good thoughts. Good thoughts. So, what does the word Sabbath mean?
Holy
Rest.
rest.
It means rest. It means rest. So,
Oh yeah, that's right.
it is the principle here is that I am setting aside definite time that I am resting in a spiritual way, not just like I'm sitting on the couch watching Netflix. I'm resting in a way that I'm spending time with God. I'm spiritually restoring my soul in His Word, and usually that we do that at church. We do that here in this building, and that's why we make it a priority to be here on Sundays. And again, to having a game on Sunday doesn't mean that you're doing something terrible. But if your pattern of living is such that church is not a priority for you, and that resting is not a priority for you in a spiritual way, then I think that's when you have to understand that maybe you're failing to keep the Sabbath. All right, but it's not so much the day of the week that's the important thing. It's the manner of approaching the Lord. So number 5.
Honor your father and mother.
Honor. You were thinking ahead there, weren't you? Honor mom and dad. That one's fairly self-explanatory, right?
My
Honor.
mom says that every single
Honor.
My mom and dad say that every single
Why, do you need a reminder of that, Ariel?
No.
No? Are you sure?
She still says it.
Yeah, she just wants you to have that one, very well memorized. Okay, number 6.
Number 6, don't get your kicks on killing one another.
No killing. Killing is
I
wrong.
mean, duh.
Killing physically or mentally?
Ooh.
Go.
Well, unless you're killing with kindness, that's a good kind of killing. Okay. Or if you're making a killing off of, a sale or something.
Without
That
if
could
you
be
have to
honest.
kill him.
We can debate
I love
animal
that.
life later. Number 7.
Life is heaven
When
when
you're
you're
treated
treated
right.
right.
Okay, so let's get our scriptural language here. Honor your father and mother. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. So we could say, be faithful to your wife or husband. I'm writing sideways. Sorry. I'll say spouse, so that it's all inclusive. Okay, number 8.
Don't break any of the rules.
Don't break any of the rules. Keep the commands. Okay, this one's like sort of built into it.
Number 9.
Keep the rules.
He goes around telling lies.
All of them. Okay? I gotta get down here. Don't lie. Number 10.
Don't covet when you see your neighbor's house or what?
Don't covet. What does covet mean?
Be jealous.
Yeah.
Be jealous? Is that? Yeah, that's a good word. Other words?
I want that.
I want that. I like it.
Give it to me.
Give it to me. So covet is actually a really strong word because jealousy is just like, man, I wish I had what they had, but coveting is actually like, I resent that person because they have what I want. I would rather that person suffer without that and me have it because I can't stand the fact that they have it. It's like a really intense jealousy.
So it's kind of like hatred almost.
Yeah,
in a way.
it definitely involves a very I think that's accurate. It involves some kind of hatred. So we got honesty, keeping the rules, being faithful, don't kill, honor mom and dad, keep the Sabbath, don't take his name in vain, no idols, no graven images, and God is number 1. So,
Can I question number 8?
sure.
I kind of think I thought it's don't steal.
Is number 8, am I...
Number 7.
It does say don't steal, so we're going off the lyrics too. Don't steal or break these rules, for goodness
Okay, so
sake.
it kinda
That's
goes
what it is.
together.
Yeah, so theft is a no-no.
What does it say?
Theft is a no-no. What?
All of them.
All of them. Keep them. All of them.
That looked like call. And then,
All of
and
them.
I don't know that last one.
All of M. I was sort of like them, but M with an exclamation point. Okay, so here's what we sort of do as we sort of divide these up, and we'll say that these first 4 are like the vertical commands. And by the vertical commands, I mean these are about my relationship with God. Okay, whether it's keeping God number 1, whether or not I'm not going to have any idols, whether or not taking His name in vain, and when I'm keeping the Sabbath, this is about my relationship with Him. Okay, so these are like what we call the vertical ones, and the rest of them, which is I wanted to keep them in a line so I could just do this nice line, but I couldn't reach all the way down to the ground. These are what we call the horizontal or the one another commandments. Okay, so like these are all about my relationship with other people, mom and dad, all of humanity. I don't want to kill, right? My spouse, not stealing from my neighbors, not lying to other people, not coveting their things. Now, So we sort of divide these up and say, there's vertical and horizontal. God, commandments that relate with my relationship to God, and commandments that relate to my relationship with other people. So what we sometimes do, I'm gonna erase all this now. What we sometimes do, come on, eraser, work. I need some space
Or
here.
marker.
I have tissues.
It's my eraser. It's trashy.
You want a tissue?
I just gotta use some elbow grease. So what we kind of do, because we see these vertical and these horizontal sort of ideas here, we start to compartmentalize. Do you know what it means to compartmentalize?
Mm-mm.
What's a compartment?
A space.
Storage.
A space
Yeah.
storage, yeah, right? So you have something in a space, in a storage space. So what we start to do is we section off things in our life, okay? So what we'll start to do is we'll say, this is my worship, okay? This is my vertical commands, okay? I'm not going to have any false gods. I'm not going to have any images. I'm going to keep the Sabbath. That's my worship stuff, okay? And then we have what we'll say is our service stuff, okay? So service stuff, all the no killing, the being faithful, the loving each other, the not coveting, all that stuff, that's going to be in this circle over here. That's not very visible, is it? But then we see like there's like this overlap here, okay? So sometimes, my acts of service for other people, my church stuff goes in this overlap here, right? And that's sort of the way we think about things as human beings, because we always like to like identify and define stuff and compartmentalize, okay? I want to, and then we'll also add this other circle here, and this is like I'm going to say pleasure or R&R. Or my time. Okay, this is my time. This is my stuff. So, and there's this nice overlap section, right? Because I enjoy doing church stuff. I enjoy taking care of yard sale stuff when I can help out. I can enjoy worship service or whatever. But I'll sort of compartmentalize this area of my own time, this area of serving other people, and this area of worshiping God. All right. And so we have, this is what's called a Venn diagram. So it sort of like has this cross section of things that are in common that overlap, and then there's these things that are separate. But I want to argue that we need to think a little differently about the way we compartmentalize. As a matter of fact, we shouldn't really compartmentalize. I'm going to use blue because that seems to be the one that sticks out the best. So over here, need some Expo. Quick, somebody spit on it.
Have water. I can sneeze, please.
You can sneeze for me? That would be nice. Okay. Here's how I want us to think about this instead. Think of it like a bullseye. Alright? So, worship, service, and then pleasure, or pastimes, or R&R. Okay? And here's why I want us to think about it this way. Because worship is all-encompassing and it includes all of these things, right? So in other words, everything that I do in my life is in some way connected to worship, right? And then the service aspect of everything, so even though I could say, okay, there's vertical commands and horizontal commands, it's still all worship. Everything in the 10 Commandments that I do to keep, because the Lord commands, is an act of worship. And then, even my pleasure, my pastime, my rest and relaxation, whatever, even that stuff is connected to worship because it's centered in that, and that everything I do is some form of worship. What happens is when we start to like stretch these things out and put them like this, this is a really selfish way to live, because it's like, I need my time, and then give God his time over here, and then I'm going to give other people their time over here. Whereas if we see things this way, in an all-inclusive way, we sort of put our priorities where they are, and because it's a bullseye, you think, oh, pleasure is at the center, it shouldn't be at the center, but it's actually the smallest thing in there, okay? So worship is everything, and then my service is such a huge part of who I am, and then, I still have my time, which is a priority, because, Sabbath, resting, it's a huge priority, but it's not this huge thing, that enormous thing that I separate from everything else. Does that make sense? Right? So I want to live in concentric circles. That's what that sort of diagram is called. So we could take some time and actually fill in what are some things that we do that are specifically worship? What are some things that we do that are specifically service? What are some things that we do that are for us? But we understand, right, that from a scriptural model of how we should live, that everything we do is worship. It's either, and by the way, it's either I'm worshiping something else, having another God, or I'm worshiping the God. You guys with me on all that? Okay, so when I talk about the fact that I'm a worshiper, I'm a child of God, I'm also
At the same time, talking about the fact that I'm a servant to others, and everything I do is an aspect of worship. So when we have this kind of thing in mind, guys, what I want us to understand is that when we think about the relationships that we have, we should be first considering how we can give to those relationships as opposed to what we can get from those relationships. Okay, so whether it's mom and dad, whether it's brother and sister, whether it's cousin, friend, neighbor, like as a Christian, I should always be thinking, how can I give before I receive? How can I give before I receive? So there was a sick man who went to the doctor's office with his wife. The doctor examined the man, ran some tests while his wife waited in the reception area. When the doctor emerged with a concerned look on his face, the wife became anxious. "Doctor, will my husband be okay?" she inquired. "I'm afraid your husband is very ill," the doctor replied. "He has a rare form of anemia, and if it's left untreated, he will most certainly die from it. However, there is a cure." "A cure?" "Yes. With proper rest and nutrition, the disease will go into remission, and your husband should live for many more years. So here's what I want you to do. Take your husband home and treat him like a king. Fix him 3 home-cooked meals a day, wait on him hand and foot, bring him breakfast in bed. Don't let him do anything that you can do for him. If he needs something, you take care of it. Give him a back rub in the morning, a full-body massage every evening. Oh, and one more thing, because his immune system is weak, you'll need to keep your home spotless all the time. Do you have any questions?" The wife had none. "Do you want me to break the news to your husband, or shall I?" asked the doctor. "I will," the wife replied. She walked into the examination room, and the husband, sensing that something was wrong, said, "It's bad, is it? What have I got?" His wife answered with a tear in her eye, "The doctor said you're gonna die." Said you're gonna die. Right? Because she doesn't want to do that stuff for him. She doesn't want to do that stuff for him. She doesn't want to treat him like a king, okay? Here's the thing. We feel like other people need stuff from us all the time. We feel like people need stuff from us all the time. And we always want things for us. And so it's very hard for us, guys, to think about ourselves as servants. But Jesus told us, told his disciples and us by extension, that the one who wanted to be the greatest among them had to be the servant of all. Okay? So here's the question. What relationships do you have that you can serve? What relationships do you have that you can serve? I want to look at the book of Ephesians. I'm going to look at chapter 6. We're just going to look at 8 verses here. And we're going to be done. Ephesians 6. Someone want to read for us? We're going to read? Reader? Yes, guys. Jesse, you made eye contact with me. You want to read, buddy? You want to read? So read us Ephesians 6, 1 through 9.
Ephesians 6, 1 through 9.
Correct.
Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise, that it may go well with you, and that you may live long in the land. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Bond servants, obey your earthly masters with fear and trembling, with a sincere heart, as you would Christ, not by the way of eye service as people pleasers, but as bondservants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, rendering service with a good will as to the Lord and not to man, knowing that whatever good anyone does, this he will receive back from the Lord, whether he is a bondservant or is free. Masters, do the same for them, and stop your threatening, knowing that he who is both their master and yours is in heaven, and that there is no partiality with him.
Yeah, awesome. Nice job, Jesse. There's some hard words in there. Bless you. Okay, so got some relationships. Let me try that again. We've got some relationships in this passage. What are the relationships that you guys see?
Children to parents.
Children and parents?
Slaves to masters.
Slaves to masters, okay? Bondservant, in Jesse's translation, is the word for slave, okay? And the ESV says slave. So, here's the way this breaks down, guys. Family and work. That's it. Family and work. Those are your relationships, okay? According to this. No. Family and work are the two relationships that Paul references in here. Now, the slave and master thing, just real quick. The economic system of Paul's day and age was either you are your own boss, you have your own farm, you have your own business, and or you are a slave to somebody, basically. Okay, because we don't have these specialized jobs where people are like baristas at Starbucks. Okay, like there's not these like little jobs that you get turn 16 and you get your working papers and you go and you do something on the side. Like you are either working in your father's house, or you're basically being sold to somebody to work for them and send money back home. Okay, that's the system here. So that's why Paul breaks it down really simply and just talks about these two dynamics of parents and children, and really employers and employees, but in their day and age it was slaves and masters. Okay, so family and work. These are some basic things. Now note that he says in verse. Let me see. In verse 6 he says, so you want to be, as slaves want to be obeying their earthly masters with fear and trembling, with a sincere heart. And in verse 6 he says, not by way of eye service as people pleasers, but as servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, rendering service with a good will as to the Lord, not to men, knowing that whatever good anyone does, this he will receive back from the Lord. Okay, so how many of you guys have been nice to somebody, okay, whether your parents, brother, sister, friend, cousin, whatever, and had them treat you like a jerk in return? Okay? Not very uncommon to happen. But look what it says here, okay? Knowing whatever good anyone does, this he will receive back from that person. What's it say? No. Who are they going to receive back from? In verse 8. Knowing that whatever good anyone does, this he will receive back from
The Lord.
the Lord. Okay? God is the one who's going to repay the kindness that you pay to other people. Okay? So, here's the challenge for us. And you may or may not have heard Pastor Phil say this before. The hardest part of being a servant is being treated like one. The hardest part of being a servant is being treated like one. Being nice to somebody and have them actually treat you like a jerk. Ignore the fact that you are kind to them. And so it's really hard. But guys, as Christians, that's what we're called to do. We're called to be servants. And that's part of our worship to God. So, here's what I want you to do. On your phone, or on your piece of paper. Everybody get your phone. I'll get your phones ready. Sorry, you got a piece of paper or something to write on? Here you go. You can use my pink marker.
Okay.
Alright.
Thank you.
Here's what I want you to do.
Do you need like notes?
Notes or whatever you want to write in.
Does anybody else need paper? I have plenty of paper.
I think everybody else is good. Tony, what do you need?
Paper and
You can have, what color marker do you want?
pink,
I gave them a pink one away. I've got orange, blue, and yellow.
yellow.
You pick
Not
that.
so big blue.
I was going to say, I don't know if the yellow's going to show up. But,
Thank you.
alright. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a list of 5 people in your life that you are close to.
Oh no.
A list of 5 people in your life that you are close to. 2 of them can be your parents. That's totally okay. Just 5 people that you're close to. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing. There you go. There we go. I have markers. I don't know if I'm going to write with... Hang on. Isn't that a pen right here? Might have one in the box. There you go.
Do we need pens? Like a pen stand.
5 people that you're close to.
What if I have 6?
I will allow you to put 6.
My
I can
dog.
only be close to 5 people.
Human beings. You with like animal life today, man. We gotta...
Me?
Yeah, you. You said something earlier about animal life. Like, what if you kill animals? You were
Oh.
in the thing there. And when we did the 10 Commandments. I need 2 more.
Hard.
Me.
That's my mother.
Ariel.
Wait, did you say 5 or 6?
I said 5.
That could be my whole family.
It could be your whole family. You could put all your family members. Stop the camera quick. It's on tape. I need 1 more.
We can say it was Evie.
Her voice is completely unrecognizable. It was like in David's movie where he's like, I've been waiting for this for a long time.
We'll change that in post.
Not really.
Okay. So you got your 5?
No.
My family.
No, oh, fine, I'll do it. Oh, I don't want to worry about this.
I'm actually giving you homework for the week.
Oh.
Giving you homework
Oh,
for the
so
week.
do you have to be able to see
I love
them then?
I
homework.
don't have any.
Because, like, if I put my cousins, they'll be like,
You might not see them. Yeah.
all my cousins
Pick-
live in different states, so.
Yeah. Pick some people that you'll see this week.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if I'll say this.
Taylor your answers to movies.
Alright, fine. Oh, what if my friend's on vacation?
There are lots of variables here. We'll have to work through them. Here's what I want you to do. Yeah, totally. That's a good idea. Now here's the thing. You guys paying attention? You all got your 5?
Yes.
5 names? 5 names? 6 names is okay? Overachieving is better than underachieving. Let's put it that. Okay. All right. You got your 5 names. I want you this week to come up with a unique way to serve each one of those people this week.
No, that's so
Can I change it?
What's that?
Can I change it now?
Can you change it?
Oh, that's
Listen, so here's some qualifications. It does not have to be some huge gesture of undying appreciation, and you don't have to like break your bank account or something like that. Okay,
just like
something. I want you to do something out of the ordinary. Something
What if I did
that
it
you
like last week?
something you're gonna do this week. You're gonna purpose to do it this week. It's gonna be something kind, something servant-oriented, some kind of act of service that you are not gonna get anything out of.
What if serving is actually cleaning
Okay.
the other person's room?
And cleaning somebody else's room is okay, but it can't be something you normally do. Like if mom expects you to do these chores, it can't just be, oh, I'll do my chores for mom because she expects me to do them. It's got to be something that you are doing out of the
If your
ordinary.
brother's told to do something, or a sister.
I said, why would I?
Then you say, I'll do it.
That would be a good idea. Yeah, you could do that.
Light bulb just went off.
Ty stealing your idea here, okay? All right. So the goal of this, guys, is to do something purely self-sacrificial for these people this week, okay? Phone call could work. Maybe they won't expect a phone call. What's that?
I really wish you wrote my name down.
Yeah. What do I get to do for Ariel this week?
Did you write mine?
I did not.
Will you tell us who you wrote down?
I did. I wrote down my wife. I wrote down Pastor Scott, Pastor Phil. I wrote down Michael. And I wrote down Chris Horton because she works in the office. These are all people I'm going to interact with this week. So, Michael, you got something good coming to you this week, okay?
Yeah.
So wait, it had to be like, so it couldn't be God?
No, it has to be a person. It has to be a person.
Dara, who
Oh, I mean, I could have done something for
You're
God.
first on my list,
So my
Ariel.
siblings-
So arguably everything on your list is going to be for God.
If you feel like coming on, you kind of like reject it. Does that count?
That does not count because that's what you should do already.
Well,
And that's sort of like the same idea as why I said you can't just do your chores because that's already expected of you. So it's got to be something out of the ordinary that's going to be an act of kindness. So here's the thing. Maybe if you're struggling to think of something, maybe even you could think back to the 10 Commandments list. Okay, what are some principles on there that I can think creatively about how I can prepare those? Or you could look at Philippians 2. Philippians 2. That's all stuff from the previous week. Philippians 2 says this: "Don't do anything out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also the interest of others." All right? Don't do anything out of selfish conceit. In humility count others more important than your own. Now,
So can I steal from my friends?
can you steal from your friends? That would arguably
for my
be...
friends.
Oh, for your friends. Like Robin Hood. Robbing from the rich to feed the poor. You cannot violate any of the 10 Commandments in your act of service to somebody else, okay? All right. So, here's some things you could do, by the way. Practical things that you can do for people around you. Simple encouragement, and maybe even encouragement to be involved in the Bible, right? You got a friend, a sibling, a cousin, somebody that you know that you're close to. You can encourage to read their Bible. I mean, that would be something really important that you could do. How can you assist a friend, sibling, cousin, whoever with some of their homework, their studies, developing a skill, right? If you know how to do something that they struggle with, can you do that?
Do it for them.
Help them with it. Okay. So you don't want them that you're causing them to steal from you by taking your work, right? Just do it for them. So we gotta think through this, okay? All right. Ultimately, guys, part of this whole thing is that we want to challenge and encourage our friends, our family to love Jesus more. All right. So as I'm going to be serving and demonstrating that I love Jesus, the goal is to then encourage them to do the same thing.
Did you bribe them?
By doing something.
But a bribe implies that you're going to get something out of it.
Well, I mean, like, hey, you should read the Bible, but no. If I do this, you have to read the Bible.
Extortion for the sake of God's word. Okay. All right. It depends on what you're promising to do.
I'll give you some.
I say I bribe. That's what I'm saying. put my water bottle downstairs and I'll let you watch Disney Junior. I brought my brother.
So how about you can just be kind to Aspen and not require her to do something for you in return. There's that. Okay. Now, last thought, and then we'll be done here. What are some ways that you can be a servant here at youth group? What are some ways you can be a servant here at youth group? Go ahead, Tony.
Make popcorn.
Make popcorn. Did you do that tonight, Tony?
No.
Okay.
I did.
Grace,
Kind
thank you
of.
so much for doing that. That's a huge help.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Welcome someone new.
Welcome somebody new. Okay. How many of you actually are already greeters? Help out with greeting.
what?
Dara, you guys should do greeting. I'm serious. Can I honestly tell you that sometimes the difference between somebody coming back is whether or not somebody's at the door saying hi to them. I'm not even lying. So there are people that come into the doors, whether they're coming into regular church or youth group on a Wednesday night, nobody talks to them, and it's like, nobody's really friendly. I'm not going to try that again. I'll go somewhere else, okay? Seriously, making or breaking can often happen at the front door. So greeting is a huge, huge way of serving, and it's not just some little chore to do. It's actually really, really important to what we do here. Ty, what were you going to say? Did it go away? Okay, that's right. That's right. I saw your hand up. Other ways you can be a servant here at Third Place.
Volunteer.
Volunteering? For what things in particular?
Classes.
Awana.
Like the Awana.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so helping out as a Third Place student, helping out for Awana. That would be a really good thing to do. Okay, good.
When there's like serving events, like the Awana ceremony, where a lot of people don't really want to go out and serve, but it's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when there's ministry opportunities, jumping in on this. Go ahead.
Complimenting someone.
Yeah. Just being kind to people around you. Yeah, that's such a huge way to serve your fellow students. How about praying for those around you? Anybody pray for the people that sit next to them? It's a good way to do that.
Not next to me.
Or maybe in the room. Okay. Not literally next to you, because who wants to pray for grace, right? No, I'm just kidding. You should always pray for grace. We always need more grace, okay? How about making it a personal goal to get to know newcomers? Okay? Somebody comes in, and here's a mistake that we all make. Oh, I see there's somebody new. Oh, they know so-and-so. Okay, they're good. Right? You maybe say hi, welcome to youth group or something like that, and just like leave them on their own because they already know somebody here. They've got a friend here. Let's not do that. Let's make it a personal goal to get to know the new people that come in. All right. Or if you see somebody that's constantly sitting on the edge of a game time, or they're just not involved, they don't know anybody, they've been back a couple times, but like they're just not involved. Like make it a personal goal to just get to know their name, get to know who they are. Maybe even ask them to sit with you. Okay. Really good way to serve our youth group. And then there's all kinds of things like the ministry opportunities, helping with greeting, helping with music. Anybody who wants to play with music, we'd love to get you guys involved there. Cleaning the loft. The loft always needs like trash cleaned up, especially after popcorn. We will do it again. So again, guys, the whole point of this conversation is that we are called to be servants. So in our relationships, we want to make sure that we are considering others as more important than ourselves, because God says that we need to be servants, and that's part of our worship. Questions, comments, general grabs? I'm going to do the service project also. I'm going to have your small group leaders check in on you next week to see how you did. Okay. Employ some creative tools. Okay. Do you have reminders on your phones? Set a reminder. Do you have a calendar that you can physically write things on in your bedroom or something? Like an agenda or a planner or something? Use whatever tool you have so that this is in front of you. Because you know what I'm going to do if I don't put a reminder in my phone right now? I'm going to close it out, I'm going to put it in my pocket, I'm going to go home and I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to do that. So I need you guys to also make sure you set the reminder, whatever it's going to take to get you to remember this. And guys, if you miss somebody, that's okay. Like this is an opportunity to reach out and serve. But I would just encourage you to try to do your best to encourage each one of these people that you wrote down this week. Go ahead.
How would you do it over the phone? Oh, sorry. Can I just make their beds?
I'm gonna let you decide. And over the phone is a great way to do that. Just be an encouragement to somebody. Just call them up and tell them you're thinking about them. And hey, think of something that they have going on in their life. Sometimes even literally just calling, seeing how somebody's doing, is a huge encouragement. Yeah, there you go. You doing an awesome job at vacation. All right. I'm putting serve somebody on my reminder.
How do you do that?
Do what? Oh, here we go. I'll do it this way. Remind me tomorrow at 9 a.m. to serve somebody.
Okay, I'll remind you.
Got it.
Is yours Australian?
She's a Brit.
Oh, mine's Australian.
My wife is Australian too. Okay. Questions, comments, general gripes?
Sometimes you can just ask people,
Ooh.
how is it that I can serve you? How is it I can help you today? How is it that,
Yeah.
there you go.
That's a really good idea. It's also really dangerous because you don't know what they're going to ask you to do.
You have to go with a willing heart, that's for sure.
That's right. You got to go into it with a willing heart.
Take a bribe from a younger sibling. She tries to.
Yeah. So
Like, do this.
this is going to be a good. I'm gonna ask you to. So we'll come back next week for small groups. We'll think about how things went. I think you will be surprised at how encouraged people are when you are actually genuinely trying to help them out in some way. It's just it's a relationship builder. That's what it is. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pray, and you guys are free to head downstairs, play some murder ball or something. Okay. Let's pray. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day.